I think I think we are in the midst of digital disruption, and the issue is none of us know where this will take. So few of the trends that I see really emerging, of course, social media we know, but the trend, in my opinion, how business will leverage it is only beginning. And normally it takes about 10 years before a capability comes in the market, before everyone figures out. So I believe that's the one. The second one really is as devices get even more pervasive. So we are currently talking of the challenge of taking from computer to mobile devices. But in my opinion, the mobility is going to come very soon with, I don't know if Apple comes out with iWatch or what are those gadgets which gets your work done. But the amount of data that it will generate will be even more than what we see today. And how are we going to work with the consumers, the customers, in a way that gets us connected? I think the third stream that is going on beneath our layer is, it was talked today about the broadband, but broadband everywhere. And what that does, it's phenomenal to look at it in one way, which is, many years ago, we all used to, the whole economy of countries used to be agrarian or industrial, which was city-based. So people knew each other. And then it became like, people went off to the cities versus distance. And with the video coming everywhere, it's becoming like face-to-face back again. So that face-to-face virtual interaction is going to change business models again. It's almost like it's virtual, but it's back to the physical world. I think some of the underlying trends make new business models, and some industries have seen it early, like journalism, or one of the friends talked about it, and the whole industry is changing there in the print business. To some, it will come very soon. So I think these are our challenges as well. How can we as P&G, that we constantly think about, tap into these underlying changes? That's what I think is going to make or break the future. I think it's going to be the businesses that constantly look for reinventing themselves. I think that's the fundamental theme. We can all tweak with organization structure or whatever. One of our learning is, yes, structures are good to deliver what we need to deliver, but it means the definition of what are we after comes from the leadership which decides what we are betting for, and are we willing to change and transform ourselves. It kind of goes back to one of my favorite quotes, which is my driving theme of my life, which is what Charles Darwin said, that it's not the strongest species or not the fastest or not the biggest that survives, but it is the one that adapts to change. And I think that is so true for the corporations. So the one who get it will do it. And the last thing I want to say there is, that's why I believe Steve Jobs probably had it. He killed his own invention in a way. The Apple's resurgence started with iPod, and then he saw the mobile device, but it was going to kill his iPod business. So he still came out with iPhone, but he knew he will kill his innovation. But he killed it, and I think corporations which can do that will really win on this. There are a few things I believe. First is, of course, the whole leadership alignment. Many of the times change doesn't happen because the leadership is not fully aligned with one voice, right? We may have agreed to do something when specifically it comes to shared sourcing or transformation through shared sourcing or even IT disruption. But if we are not on the same goal, it will come back and haunt us in the change process. Once that is done, our other learning is really at the heart of the heart, it is one-on-one to the people, right? And we put all theories in practice, but at the end of the day, each of us think about our own concerns. So if the management which understands and talks to the people one-on-one and explains them the change and also explains where will you be, the more the clarity we can give, the more people can appreciate it faster, and they become part of the change. Now, once we do that, the last piece I call it as simply the change cycle. There is a cycle, which is initially the people will be very, very low because they have heard of a change, right? But then you find these early adopters as you talk one-on-one, and there are those who want to lead it versus follow it or watch it. And we need to catch on to those. And then still keep talking one-on-one to take the rest of them hopefully above, and then the graph goes like this, right? So the question is, how long is this time? That really depends upon the ability to talk one-on-one and understand and show the change. The last, I think, normally we all tend to do not a great job of is, when we are at the last phase of the change, we almost start to ignore it. But that tail starts to taper, right? And it's very, very important that we don't let it that way. We declare our victory, we declare our closure, and we almost celebrate the closure. I think it's very, very important before we end up saying there is a change again. Our focus is virtually in a couple of areas. One is, I was just saying, using the video to change our people-to-people interaction, both within the company, but also to our consumers and customers. So I think that's one, because that offers us many new business models. A very simple example of this is, as we have so many manufacturing sites, and imagine the technicians who we need, the core technician who know how to keep running the plant when something drastically goes wrong. And normally the plants are in very remote locations. They are never in cities. How do you keep these talented people across 100, 500 such locations? So what video offers us is ability for the core technician to be in the centralized place. Now imagine how best we could run the plants with. So one is really, we believe we would take a bet on people-to-people interaction through video. I think the other, certainly, which everyone is looking at is the big data analytics. I would distill it further to say the internal data of the company, even if whoever is in whatever journey, we know how to do it. Mostly the industry knows how to do it. Even connecting it further to the external structured data, we know. It is the unstructured data, which is increasing by volume. So when we talk about petabytes of data, it is really unstructured. How do we make sense out of it for the business problems we want to solve? And if we can crack the code in the ways we want to, then that would be winning game plan. So that's our second quest for next level of understanding the digital disruption through shared services, because none of this can be done without the shared services. Now, having said all of that, what it also implies is the core of the shared services is able to deliver, so that our attention doesn't tend to go to those, right? So delivering 99% excellence is given. And when we together as an ecosystem allow this, we create the possibilities for new business models. So these were two such examples. There are a few more, but we believe we want to take very, very big bets on. A couple of things. It is easy to read through and follow the articles, etc. But it's completely different experience in chatting around and making connections with people who share the same issues, or people who share the same opportunities, right? Or are going through the same challenges, etc. So that's one, certainly. I think the other great thing is different kinds of topics around this are bundled up together, and it allows you to focus for 2 or 3 days behind this, right? And we all can go back and really think about strategies. The third, lastly, is benchmarking. In many ways or not, we all can figure out like who is doing maybe better than me, who is, and that allows us to constantly look for being the best. So to me, these three things were fantastic in this forum.